All right. Test. Test, test, test. Okay. 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 Just making sure my audio works. My daughter just stopped by, and she really enjoys turning knobs. So I just want to make sure that everything was back to working order. Okay, so so last week I figured out that the viewers isn't the viewer count isn't what's the word? Instant. So if there is someone watching, welcome. If not, it says 0 viewers, so I'm assuming that I'll be talking to anyone that's watching this on YouTube afterwards. But today I am today I am going to add a class to my Curl2PS module. And for anyone that hasn't seen this module before, the purpose is to take a text curl command and convert it to a working invoke rest method command. And the reason being because API docs are all, well, I shouldn't say all, probably mostly. Most of the ones I've seen, they all have curl examples of how to talk to their API. And so ultimately, I'd love to be able to just take that, copy it into convert to IRM, which is the commandlet that I'm designing, and get the PowerShell equivalent and make that available for folks that are developing against APIs that have curl-based documentation. So, and technically, this isn't a module yet, because it only just, yesterday? Got a second commandlet, so this get URL data. Stefan added this in here. And you know what? I still haven't heard him pronounce his name correctly, even though he tells me that I pronounce it incorrectly, but says it's good enough. But essentially, I shouldn't say essentially, this commandlet takes a URL, and then it's got this big regular expression here, line 41, and it divides it up into all of its different parts. So this is a very complicated regular expression that I would love to say that I came up with, but I did not. And then let's see, down here 44 to 55, it actually builds that object and returns a URL object. So I want to see that in action because I haven't seen that yet. So if we take, this is a really boring URL. But if we do get URL data, now you can see we've got full URL base URL domain name. Interesting. Because that's not the whole domain name. So obviously it needs a little bit of work, but this is really, really awesome in my opinion. So let's build a, so in convert to IRM, so this is where all the magic happens. So I get the URL out of it, and then I've got this while loop to grab all of the parameters out of that curl command string. But ultimately, I just end up building another string, and there's not a way to really store all of those properties of the past curl command. So that's where I had the idea of adding a class. So let's do that. So I'm just going to create a folder called classes and create a new file. So we're going to call it the curl command class is what we'll call it. So class curl command. All right, sweet. And we've got a class. This class is probably gonna need some properties in it. Are they called properties in a class? We'll call them properties. So string is gonna be the raw command. I'm just gonna call it raw command. And then we're gonna have a string array of properties, parameters, not properties, parameters, not PS bound parameters. That do not need to autocomplete. And these parameters, I'm gonna have to have a method. Let me adjust my mic real quick. I'm gonna have to have a method that parses all of the parameters and then adds them to this parameters string array. And maybe some other properties as well. Oh, and URL. And I'm almost tempted to make this get URL data a class of itself. But right now I'm just gonna go string URL. I'll probably come back to that and make another URL class because there's a lot of data in here. So yeah, I'm thinking that as soon as we get this class defined and basically working, we'll go from there. Parameters. And you know what? Actually, what I'm going to do is, so a lot of the parameters, or excuse me, some of the parameters are always going to be there. For instance, we can say method. So I'm just going to go string method, and I'm going to have that as its own named property in this class, even though it is considered a parameter. And I can almost even have a headers. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a headers, hash table headers. Maybe not a hash table. I'm going to have to think about that one. My gut says hash table is a good place to start, so we'll start with that. Okay, so we now have to have some way to set all of those to a constructor. So we could just do a really basic constructor. So what I'm thinking is, so we can either have a new, which is the base constructor for the class, or a convert option. I'm gonna stick with new, so we'll just call it just straight curl command. And for the input, I'm actually just gonna accept a simple raw. Well, I'm just gonna call it raw string, and this is gonna be the same input that we get in convert to IRM. What do I call it? Oh, I call it curl string. We'll call it curl string. We'll stick to the current nomenclature here, curl string. Okay. So then most of this is a matter of just copying out all of everything that's in here. So we're going to grab that URL. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna back up and we're gonna build that URL class right now. Because I'm sitting here thinking about this as I go, and I really like that usage of that get URL data. And so I'm gonna get this out of here. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this regex that Stefan came up with, and that's gonna sit right there for now. But this URL is going to have a lot. Oh, that's not working. A lot of properties. So I am going to copy. Yeah, I'm just going to copy all of that, and we'll do some surgery here. So we'll call it full URL string. Oh, wait a second. There's a command to do multi-line edits here. If anyone watching remembers what it is, shout it out. But I've got the printout of the shortcut keys, and I forget what it is. And I'm probably, it's the editor, rich language. I thought it was like Control-Alt-D or something. Control-D, nope. Search and replace, file, display, debug. So current line at the end. Okay, I don't remember. Okay. I'm not finding it very quickly here either. We're gonna look it up. Visual Studio Code, multi-line edit. There we go. Control Alt to add cursors. Okay. Oh, adding cursors. Oh. Insert cursors. Control Alt. Oh, yeah. No, okay. It is. I see it on the printout. So we'll go Control Alt. Okay, that's not. Oh, it's because I wasn't pressing Control Alt. There we go. All right, and then we'll just do sweet. All right, that was awesome. Okay. All right. Okay, and then for this URL class, our constructor is going to be URL, and we are going to take a string for the input to actually construct this class and call it URL string. Actually, let me camel case that URL string. All right. And this is where we have that regex. And then from here, I'm just going to copy this right out of get URL data. Let's see. Okay, so if, oh, we got to actually do the match here. URL string match regex. Okay, so if matches, what we're going to do is replace hash, let's see, with this. Yes. Okay, and my headphones are way too loud. Just hurt my ears saying that. Okay, so this should give us a, let's import this class. I guess should give us a URL. So now we can say URL new, and I don't have a. Actually, I'm just gonna go up. Well, actually, you know, let me zoom in a little bit. I haven't done that since starting here. Okay. So we're gonna say, so I'm down here on the console, URL new, and I'm gonna send it to a variable. We'll call it URL. Be very specific. Oh, what? I have a hash object. Hash. Did I forget something? Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. And I don't think last time I remember debugging classes, you have to completely dump and restart your session. No, you don't. Okay, check that out. Sweet. Okay, so that saves me a lot of time. Nice. Okay, so now we have our URL. That regex has some problems, but it's a good start because base URL, that should come up all the way up to the next slash. I'm not going to dig into that regular expression right now because the path is, the path should be everything past that next slash. Okay, I'm not going to dig into that regex right now because that's going to be really boring, and I'm not feeling up to regexing that at the moment. Okay, so then in our curl command class, we can now say URL. Oh, wait a second. Is there a .NET URL class or URI class maybe? What is URI? Yeah, Unable to find type URL. Really? Oh, does it need to be capitalized? No. Ignoring type not found parse, even though I have it imported. Interesting. Okay, well, let's see if we can get that. Okay, it does actually import, so we could say curl command, if I could spell. Okay, cool. So it does import the class, even though it says that it can't find that URL. All right. So now for the rest of this import, so we've got a curl string, and so I'm just going to be converting this convert to IRM stuff over to the class. So, and for those of you that that remember or have seen this, or I should say for those of you that haven't seen this commandlet before, what it does is it takes a curl command, which is in a string, and it converts it to an invoke rest method, the equivalent in PowerShell, essentially. And so it's pulling out the URL. So that's what I got here, line 32. And then if there's basic authentication in front of the the URL, it pulls that out as well. And then this while loop grabs all the parameters. And I'm not going to go into super detail here on what each parameter or what each step does. If you guys got questions, ask. I will answer them. But we're just going to pull this over into a class and call curl command. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so here, so we're going to say this dot raw command equals curl. Well, actually, we'll start with that. I'm not sure if that's the best thing to start with, because what if the curl string isn't actually in a properly formatted command? But I think one of the issues is that then I have to write a regex to determine if it is a properly formatted command. So we are going to skip that for now and say this dot URL equals no. We're going to move that down, and we're going to get that regular expression for the URL. URL string regex. You know what? So I'm looking at the URL class right here, and this URL string, this will take any string that has a URL in it. So what I could do is I could pass in my curl command option, I could pass the entire curl command and get the URL out of it. In fact, that's what I'm going to do, actually. URL, whoops. This dot URL equals, nope, we're going to do this. URL equals, excuse me. So we've got our URL class, new, and we're going to say curl string. And so now, if URL has a value, so if URL, we should be able to say this dot URL equals URL dot full URL. Sweet. Okay. Else, no URL present, throw an error. And I'll decide on how to do the errors here in a minute. All right, and so the next thing we need to do out of this curl string is, wrong, so convert to IRM. Basic authentication. I'll have to add that in as well. So basic authentication in a URL has a, looks like, I think I've got an example. Yeah, here we go. So in a URL, basic authentication, you've got your protocol, and then you have username. Whoa, did not want to move that. Username : and then the password, and that's basic authentication. And invoke REST method doesn't like that in the URL, so you actually have to pass it as a header. And so that's what I'm grabbing out here, line 40. So I'm matching it. So I've got the protocol / / and then the username password is before the @ symbol. So I think it's not the @ in between HTTPS and the @ is what I'm pulling out of there. And then converting that to a header. So actually, I'll go ahead and add this into, let's see, curl command, if URL dot full URL match. Okay, so then headers. So this is where we're going to add a header. So this dot headers authorization equals, and then we're going to encode it. So basic authentication is encoded in base 64. Specifically UTF-8, and that's a hard-learned fact right there for me. Encoding is always very important. Okay, and we're gonna pull that out of there because that's just that's legacy. And so the last thing that we want to do here in this curl string, if we're gonna follow the same work or the same style of removing stuff that I've been doing, is gonna do replace. Let's see. If URL matches, let's see where we're at. I thought we had to get URL data equals URL curl string. Why don't we discard the URL if it's in front of the URL? Yep, nice. Okay, so we need to actually remove, here we go. Remove the curl, remove curl from the curl string. So I'm just gonna copy this code over. And for anyone watching, I actually wrote the rest of this on a previous stream, so you can grab it on my YouTube channel if you're curious. If you do have questions, as I go, let me know. I'm not just a mindless robot writing code. So here we go. So we're actually, so I'm doing a regex escape on the URL. I don't know that that's necessary. I just like to do that just in case that URL has what could be interpreted as a regular expression in that. And so I'm actually removing, first of all, removing curl from the front of it, and then removing the escaped URL as well. And I've got, you notice I've got the square brackets, so that's in case there's a single or double quote in there. The question mark says one or none. All right, so we've got our working string, and I am actually just going to straight copy this for right now. And then what we're going to do is kind of I shouldn't say kind of. What we're going to do is we are going to dissect this. Okay. And I'm actually going to add the comments in. Let's see, remove URL from string. Let's see, find all parameters. So that's what this while loop is going to do. Okay, so parameter name equals matches.param. Great. Escape param name equals. So escape param name. And so this is a regular expression I came up with, I think it was last week, as a matter of fact, if you caught that stream. And then what we're going to do, or this is say then what it's doing, is switching the parameter name. So depending on what the parameter is, so it's an H or header, we're actually going to say this dot headers. So it's going to add that to the header. And okay, so so what we should do here is say this dot method equals matches dot param value. Oh, okay. So this is an interesting problem I ran into last week. Is if the curl string, and I can actually show you an example. So if, let's see, I don't have an example here, but if, so let's say in the curl string, if they had quotes around, like I've got, here around get, so if they include those quotes, I had to do some regular expressions to account for that. And so that's what this param value quotes is, and there's a param value without quotes. So just straight param value. So that's actually what I want out of that match. So just param value.trim, remove any spaces. Oh, and actually I'm just going to grab that. All right, so this dot method, and then verbose. We're going to say, we're going to call it bool verbose equals, I understand it's by false. By default, they'll be equal to false. And so what we'll do down here is if it finds that verbose is included, we'll just say this dot verbose equals true. And so this statement, or this variable, just tells it that this is the class object that we're working with. Oh, and then body. You know, I'm starting to doubt my parameters here, and instead we're just gonna say string body. Okay, and then back here for the D data, so it's the body equals matches dot param value dot trim slash replace. Oh, yeah, I added in some. Whoops, some quotes there. Did I? What's going on? Let's see. Oh, I didn't need to comment out that line. And it still doesn't like it. What is it complaining about? Missing closing. Did I? Yes, there it is. Oh, I hate when you screw up brackets like that. Okay, it's not just straight body, it's this dot body. Okay, cool. And then we're just gonna remove out that string. Oh, and then unknown. Right verbose. I wonder if that should even be right verbose compared to like a right output or something. I don't know. We'll leave it as right verbose and come back to that if we need to. All right, so then, okay, this is dot headers. Okay, cool. Request verbose data default. Okay, and then the working string replace. So this at the end. So this has that working string, and each time it finds a parameter, it deals with it and then removes it. That's what these last two lines do. And I think the last thing that it does is it builds actually an output string, so it converts it to IRM. But we can have another method that does that. Oh, interesting. So URL cannot assign property use. Oh, well, that's fine. I actually want to be able to do that. Okay, so it's still going to throw an error. Oh, so we'll say temp URL. Okay, and then we'll try, whoa, nope, escape URL. Okay. And then we'll try importing. Nope, still doesn't like it. Did I miss something else? Let's see, 14, yes. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we should be able to call our class with square brackets curl command, colon, new, and now we need, no, so it does take a raw string. Interesting. But now we need an example. So actually, I don't need to open the Explorer there. Let's go to the README. And let's see, curl string. Here we go. We'll use this example. Oh, I can just type it in down here. There we go. All right. Got an error already. Line 42. Headers. Okay, so it threw an error on one of these headers, param value.split, replace // Okay, so this line right here replacing the escaped double quotes with normal double quotes. That was, oof, I don't even remember why exactly I did that. We're going to leave that there for right now. All right, so what this is doing, so the headers are all key value pairs. So they've separated by the colon there, so that's why I'm doing this split at the colon. And then, so we've got, so this dot headers of the first one equals the second one and any others joined with a colon. So that's in case the value, that's in case the value of the value of the value in that key value pair has a colon in it, it's going to put it back. But it is not working the way I expect, and we can't. Ooh. What about the colon in the URL? Okay, so that's a good point. Give me a second here. I got a quick text. Oh, it's my wife. Okay, cool. So this specifically is, well, I can't actually see what your username is. Oh, nice. So this specifically line 42, this is when it's found a parameter that is a header, essentially. And so the URL has already been removed, and it's looking at, so here, let me break it down for you. So what I expect that this is, oh, still got the curl string. So here's the string that it is looking at. And in that case, I expect that it's looking at a string like what I've got highlighted. So it's looking at one of those header values. And so it splits it. And you know, this one actually might be the one that's causing the problem because it doesn't have anything as a value. Interesting. But anyway, sorry. It splits this string without the colons, without the quotes, by the colon itself. And this is will now be the key, and whatever's on the right side of the colon will be the value. So here, we'll look at this one. So a content type, for instance, the content type will be the key, and then application/JSON is the value. And so I'm wondering if, let's try something. So I'm going to take one of these. So I'm going to take that header, that x-auth-signature, and do a split. Oh, got it. And, oh, now I got someone calling me. Not a number I recognize. And so now, so I'm gonna take this single header and attempt to, actually, we'll make this the whole thing. So header equals, and then I'm gonna do, let's see, do a match. So I'm attempting to replicate what's in there, or matches, sorry. Okay, so here we go. So this, what I've got down below in the matches variable is what should be happening when it comes through. So we should get a split matches.paramValue.split. So I'm going to go run line 41. And if we look at split specifically, so we now have the key and the value, but the value is a space. But we should still get a split.count of 2. And the reason I was looking at count is because in this error here, it specifically said cannot index into a null array. So let's do So that comes out right, and if we do run this last line there, that comes out as nothing. I wish I knew. Actually, you know what we can do? We're just gonna cheat and do a. I'm gonna do a write output here, or we'll do a write house. I'm gonna do what's matches dot param value. Okay. All right. Crap. Can I? Oh. I left this down here. Okay. So now we've got it running some output that hopefully will give us some better information. So I'm going to run that same command again. Whoa! Okay. So you can debug classes in VS Code. You just got to import them after you put the breakpoint in. Okay, this is good. So let's look at matches. This will make it a little easier. So matches, that looks fine. Oh, but that's where it gave us the error. Oh, I should have looked at split. Gosh darn it. Okay, so we're going to try that again. I didn't realize it was going to let us debug. Okay, cool. So now if we look at split dot-count, so that's coming up with a count. So can we say split? So I'm wondering if I just did some syntax wrong here. Split dot count. Too many close parentheses. Okay, I don't understand why that error is coming up. Because it is actually split one dot split dot count. But it's throwing the error specifically on the split dot. I didn't typo that, did I? No? Split. If I do an F5 to step through it, that's where it throws the error. Is it trying to split the blank string? I see what you mean. So, split equals... So here on line 42, I'm going to stop that debugger. I'm splitting it by... actually, I'm gonna step back into that before we got the error, so we can actually do some actual troubleshooting to see if we can find that. So I'm not doing any splitting on 43 and just on 42, but yeah, it is a little confusing. I'm calling the variable split. Okay. Can I, in the debugger, just run that? I can. So this works. I don't understand why this... so, I mean, I ran this command just now in the debugger. Where we got split, one dot split count, join, but because there isn't... It's an array of... Well, is it an array if it's one? Split 0 dot trim. Man, this is really, really baffling. So I'm not doing, let's see, any additional, doing a join, doing a trim. Okay, so actually, I'm gonna simplify this and then come back. So instead of doing this funky join stuff, let's just do split of 1. And let's see what this does. So I might have been trying to get too fancy there. Actually, I just want to... I still threw an error. Cannot index into a null array. Oh. Can it be? So maybe it doesn't like this headers array. But that wouldn't make any sense. Or does it? Okay, I think maybe classes are case sensitive with their property names. Let's find out. In which case the headers is, you notice up here I use a capital H. Down here I use a lowercase. The value of that one pair is empty. So that's what I was looking at in the debugger, and the first one I was looking at was X auth key, which wasn't empty, which is here. If I scroll up, you can see split 0 is X auth key, and split of the index of 1 is this actual value right here. People be texting me like crazy. Okay. So this goes against PowerShell specifically if it is case sensitive, but I want to see. Okay, so I've still got the debugger here. So here's what we're looking at. That split variable, which is supposed to be the array of all the... Why did it come out looking like that? Which is supposed to be the array. You can see does have a key, which is 0, and then a value, which is 1. But fingers crossed. Nope, it's still giving me that error. Okay, so it wasn't. Okay, I thought it was potentially... Because split.count is... Man. I don't have a property named split, do I? Let's see the value. You know, that looks like I already thought of that last time. That's why I've got the trim here, because we're getting, in case that's just so complicated. I'm gonna simplify this a little bit for right now, and just do split 1, and we'll add the trim, dot trim here. And split 0 dot trim equals split 1 dot trim. Okay. Okay, and so we'll see if this solves that, because in this specific instance, oh, did I not stop the debugger? Okay, what is going on? I don't have the option to... Okay, so let's... Okay, now the debugger's gone crazy. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, there we go. VS Code's doing something weird on me right now. Let me just dump my terminal and bring it back. Okay. Okay, so now we've got that simpler, unable to find, oh, let me add the URL type back in. There we go. Okay, and let's get that. I'm adding in that curl string as a variable so I can access it. And we'll do the curl command. Let's get this running again. New curl string. Curl command cannot be cast to type A originates from. And the contents legit by the right. Type B originates. What? Okay, this is even stranger now. Okay, now back to that same error as before. Okay. So let's see, what line is that on? 44. Okay, same thing as before. Gosh darn it. Cannot index into a null array. So the headers is a hash table. And I believe it's already been set up here. You know, let's try this. I wonder if we need to put quotes around it. Man, I'm just really reaching at this point. Cannot index into null array, so split. And well, let's. Oh, whoops. I wanted to do F9. Let's do. I'm gonna pull up the debugger again, and now it's not working. Oh no, that's because I didn't do the right command. There we go. Okay, so it's looking at. So we got the X auth key as the header. If we look at that split variable, which is what we're referencing, it's got 2 items in it. Split 0, split 1. I did not expect to be tripped up by something like this today because I've already had this working in a function. So I wonder what's different about this that it doesn't work in a class. Maybe if I stare at it hard enough, it'll come to me. Oh my goodness. And then if we do split 1.trim, and then if we do this split 0.trim, actually did come out. So let's try something else. So if we do a hash table of T or T. So what I want to do, there's an add. There's an add method to a hash table. I forget what it's called. It might, it's literally just add. Okay. So what I'm thinking here is if we do this dot headers, which is a hash table dot add, and it's key value. Okay, so we do split 0 dot trim, and then split 1 dot trim, and then we just comment that out, take off the line break, re-import it, and try it again. Okay, what's going on? Did I not stop the debugger? I don't think I stopped the debugger. All right, there we go. Did I not stop it the right way? Maybe not. Dang it. Okay, it's just going to sit here and be stuck. All right, let's try just restarting that again. Okay, so we'll add in the URL. We'll add in the new class. or not the new class, the slightly updated class, and then say curl command add curl string add. Oh, should be new. You cannot call a method on a null valued expression. Oh, that's still not working. Okay, what is happening? Am I just missing something that's really obvious? Because this dot headers, it's a named value. I add the, oh, that isn't even done yet. I mean, at this point, it's like, maybe do we just change this variable name? Or clear it out first? Well, no, it's hitting the first auth key matches. I'm running out of ideas here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's always other syntaxes. That's a good point. Let me try. I want to try running this line in the debugger. You cannot call method on a null valued expression. It's likely having an issue with this string. Interesting. Good point. Split. Okay, so let's do that here in the debugger. Yeah. Maybe if it was a okay, I see what you're saying. We'll split 0 dot. Look at syntax highlighting. I'm not sure I follow you there. What do you mean there by syntax highlighting? I think I understand. Well, you know. No, we can't use the. Okay. Well, I'm in the debugger.trim.to. Oh, it doesn't have a toString, or does it? It does. Okay, so let's try this. I'm not sure I completely follow. In the commented line, the highlighting changes, and it is treating the split 0 as a string, not as a. Oh, okay. Okay, I see what okay, that makes sense. Cannot. Yeah, line 44 is commented out at the moment. Let's see, 0. So, I'm not. I follow what you're saying. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean there. That's why I was trying. Well, kind of why I tried this other method. But I think I'm not following the suggestion you made to fix it, but I follow where you see the problem is. Did you initialize an empty hash table? Like at the thread. Oh, yeah, I didn't think about the. Let me try this really quick, and then Stefan, I'll address your comment. So I think what and your name shows up as in black here, Dark Garage. What you're saying, I think this would also hold on a second. I think this would also solve it. So I didn't actually. So in my properties, I have a hash table of headers. Let me try something first. So I think if we did key equals split 0 and value equals, well, dot trim, dot trim, and then value equals split 1 dot trim. I think this is also along the lines of Dark Garage, what you were suggesting. And so then we can do an add. Need to find out if the issue is in split 1 or 0 and the dot add part. Yeah, we were looking. So in the debugger, that's what I was looking is at split 1, 0, and 1. Oh, apparently VS Code needs to be restarted every time you debug a class. So I'm gonna try this really quick, and then let me address what you're suggesting there. Because yeah, it totally makes sense that I would need to maybe even declare the hash table ahead of time. Okay, so let's. So I've got my example curl string down here. Let's see, curl command. So now if we look, so now that we're in the debugger, if we look at split, we've got 0 and 1. And I'm thinking, nope, it's still throwing that value, still throwing that error. So that's a good point. Oh, let me break out of the debugger. Okay. Oh, it doesn't like it because it's got the header ht equals, there we go. We'll call it header ht for hash table. So then, let's see, so I'm just gonna remove all of that, and then say header whoop, that's not even the, sorry, I've made a few iterations of this. All right, so this line 44, what is currently line 44 is what worked in the commandlet, or in the function instead of the class. But then at the end I need to do this dot headers equals header ht. Okay, so let's I'm gonna just try this without. So there we go. At the top of the class. So I do actually have a headers. Are you saying that I would also need to even add in the at and the curly brackets? I didn't do that before. I'm not saying it worked before when I didn't, but I didn't have that there before. So if I did this, instead of declaring inside of the, let's try that. I think I see what you're suggesting here. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, that works. I'm not sure how lagged it is, but yeah, that's what I just did. All right, there we go. Got to actually add in the equals at and then the curly brackets. Interesting. Yeah, no problem. So yes, the issue was that I didn't realize I thought just doing an explicit type declaration was good enough. And adding this in, yeah, is what solved it there. Man, that was weird. The weird part, and Dark Raj saw this, was that the error actually underlined. Good point. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. Since PowerShell is what do they call it? Best effort types. I can't remember what I heard someone have a good explanation for it a while back. But when it actually threw the error, it was underlining split.count here in the error, and so that's I was looking in all the wrong places as a result. We're not fully understanding what the error was. But now let's see. Oh, I still got a right host in there. All right, let's get that out of there. So now if we look at curl.headers, excuse me, that looks good. That looks great, as a matter of fact. Oh, excuse me. Apparently I've got a lot of burping to do today. Sweet. So there is no body, but the method is get. URL is URL. Oh, so Stefan, I did take your get URL data and made it a class. So that's what this is here. It needs a little bit of work, but it's good start. And in fact, I'm going to add in right now a toString method. And this is just going to be this.full URL. Did we not? Did I get that syntax wrong? Okay. All right. Because I want to actually be able to say curl and then what? What? This dot full. Okay, I did not. Did I not? Do I need to reload this? Here, let's. So I'm trying to get the URL to actually show when it's toStringed, showing the full URL. And I thought that, oh, sorry, classes need, there we go, okay. So I'm a little rusty on classes. I forgot that when you return stuff, the return needs to actually be in there. Okay, so let's get that added in. I think it'll work what I was trying to do. Because if we do now curl command new curl string. Okay, so now the URL, you see right here, URL, it actually shows the toString value of it, even though that is if I go to curl.url, it is a class. Or is an object of that URL class type. Sweet. I forgot about the returns. Okay, awesome. And then so I would do the same or I could do the same, I should say, for the curl command. And I could just say return, and I might change this dot, what do I call it, raw command. Okay, what? There we go. Okay. So now that we've got this class with these methods, we've got one constructor that mostly works right now. The next thing would be to actually have, so the convert to IRM commandlet, that just output a string. So what I want to do is have another method in here. Maybe not toString, but remember it's lagged. How did I do what? I'll sit and wait for you. Or you know what? Tab.url return the object, but still showing the full. Oh, so if we look at curl, so it shows the toString method of that class. So I'm looking at the URL class right now. I've got a toString method in here that returns just this .full URL. And so when it's displaying that URL, it just displays the toString method of that URL. So if I did curl.url, we can see all the properties of the class, and .toString just outputs the full URL. And we could set it to output, whatever the heck we wanted. That just makes the most sense to me, is to have it actually output the full URL. And then, so now if we do that, here, let me show you. I'll do that for the curl command as well. So now if we do curl.toString, it's, maybe that's not the best representation of the curl command. It's just the raw command, but yeah, that's how you do it. Okay, so the next method would be the method that actually outputs it in Invoke to REST method format. So it's going to output a string. Might even be not a bad idea to have it output a script block. Anyway, the question is, yes, that is good to know. I agree. And I'm glad I can impart on you some wisdom, because you've been giving me a lot recently. So this curl command, I'm going to have, this is going to be the converting to invoke REST method. So do I call it convert to or to, I'll call it to IRM for now. Oh, okay. That's not so bad. And then I'm gonna do something really similar to what I did in the convert to IRM until I come up with something better. That's what I'm gonna use. Equals invoke REST method. And the first thing we're gonna do is add the plus equals space stat. Well, actually, we're gonna use double quotes. Dash method this dot method outstring plus equals. Actually, no, we'll do the URI first, just because that just looks better. This dot URL dot toString, and then outstring plus equals. So we got method. So now we've got to deal with the headers and the body. So how did I deal with the body? I'm just gonna copy this right over. Let's see. Oh. Be a stickler for camel case there. Okay. Outstring equals, so it's gonna be this dot body dot, no, that should be already trimmed. This dot body. And in case I ran into an instance where a URI passed JSON data, and so that's why it's got this this funky replace in there. Or did I do that replace in the body itself? For rows data body. Oh, I already did that. Okay. So never mind. Let's So we can just say body, and we'll put single quotes around it. Okay, cool. And then out string, we'll add in the headers, which I do like. So, and the headers, since I'm outputting as a string, I convert the headers to JSON and then have a convert from JSON because Invoke REST method requires that the headers parameter is a hash table. And I didn't feel like writing out, and maybe I'll do this at some point, but writing out the textual representation of a hash table using PowerShell. So, the writing out, at curly brackets and then key equals value. I didn't want to write it out like that. Let me get that out there so it's not all screwy. And then we should be able to return out string. Okay. Oh, yeah. This dot headers. Yeah, I forgot that. Okay. Okay, so now we should curl.toIRM. Wow, there's no body. Oh, I should do an if. So URI is required, method is required, body is not. Whoa. Whoops. Okay, so we'll say if this dot body dot is, oh wait, is there a string operator for is empty? I don't remember, honestly. Okay, we're gonna say if this dot body, like, and then headers, do they always need headers? No. I'm gonna say no. This dot headers dot, let's see, this gotta be a dot keys. So if it has keys, all right. And so, and that way the, in case, what? So what I was going to say is in case body is null, it won't output it, but apparently it is not null. Let's see, curl.body.length 0. If this dot body.length, we'll do something different here. It's greater than 0. Okay. That way, if that body, which is a string, has an actual length, then it will add it to the output. There we go. So now, oh, you know what I just realized? I'm blocking the output that I was just talking about a second ago. So up here, this first output I was getting body and then nothing because there's nothing in it. And then so to remove that, that's where I said if the body length is greater than 0. And let's see, invoke REST method get headers. Yep, it's got headers. Cool. Okay. Whoops. And I accidentally hit enter a bunch of times on the code. Okay. Sweet. So now to IRM, to string. So now the question is, what else do we need this class to do? Oh, we need to implement into the convert to IRM commandlet. But first, I don't think we've got anything else in here that needs to be added. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is see what changes I made. Oh, I got a scratch file. Okay, so I'm going to commit, let's see, first class commit. So I'm going to commit these classes so we can start with that. I'll go ahead and push it up. If anyone's following along, this is in my GitHub, and I'm just doing a gosh darn it. Apparently pushing to the master branch like a moron. Dang it. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, let me switch branches here. All right, we're now doing the dev branch. Okay, good thing I didn't actually change convert to IRM. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to actually turn this into a module so the those classes can be used. So let's see. Let's add a folder here called build. And we're going to add a build file. Let's see. Curl2 build.ps1. And wait, what is, hold on a second. Okay, I screwed up. Yeah, I screwed up. Okay, so what I need to do is I think I need to delete the old dev branch and create a new dev branch. Sorry, branching is not my strong point. Let's see, is 9 commits behind? Yes. No, I do not want to pull it. Quick, does someone know how to delete branches? Switch dev. The default branch is going to the base branch. Nope, I don't want to change the default branch actually. Wait a second. Can we do dev to can we do a pull request on dev to master? If someone's watching that knows more about the proper way to do this in Git, I would appreciate it. Because let's see. So I'm not sure how to if the proper way to do this is to delete a branch, or if the proper way to do this is to do a pull request from the master to dev branch. Let's see. Oh, I can delete the entire repository. Let's see, default branch protection rules. Prevent branches from being deleted, but how do you actually delete a branch? That I don't know. Let's try something here. Branch. Yeah, we're gonna stick to the master branch. Creating and deleting branches within your repository. You can. Oh, there it is. Do it locally. Okay, well, I don't know how to do it locally either. Git checkout dev. So git merge master. If I had used the git command tools, that probably would git push origin. Okay. Let's try this. Aha. I do have git installed. Well, I guess I should say obviously I have git installed. Okay, so we'll say git checkout dev. Switch to the branch. Your branch is up to date with git origin. So git merge master. Oh, yeah, no problem. Oh, yeah, see, that's a lot easier. You're right. Git push origin. Okay, so essentially what you're telling me is that I need to learn. I need to learn a little bit about how to use the git at the command line. Okay, my phone just went off, but it didn't have any notifications. So it did. Okay. Okay, so now the dev branch should have the classes in it. It does. Nice. Not deleted from disk. Okay. Sweet. Okay, so Curl2PS.build.ps1. Okay, this is looking much better. But for builds, I am not good at defining a new build every time, so I like to copy and paste builds. Oh, it's module name.build.ps1. Okay, cool. Let's see, module name.build.ps1. Except I probably should keep that as the same. Okay, let's see, Curl2PS version 0.1. And most of this is pretty pretty non-module specific. Let's see. I'm just updating this from, let's see, test. I don't have, let's see, test path is probably tests. Yeah, it's there. Oh, that's right, Stefan, you did put tests in. And we are not going to be building or publishing this yet. And that's not going to be needed because that was specific to the other module. All right. Okay, so now we'll save our build and do an invoke build. Oh, not clean. Invoke build, task module build. Build. Okay. Oh, I don't have a module manifest. New module manifest. Okay, path is going to be ./source/curl2ps.psd1. See, message modules, GUID, new GUID. Let's see, company name. All right, put a company name, copyright. I've got copyrights added in there, root module. Curl2ps.psm1. I think that's enough to get one started. Nice. And okay, so now we can do an invoke build again. Task module build. All right, we still get errors. Oh, I don't have a docs folder yet. Okay. Let's try that again. Clean doc build. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we have a built module with one command and two classes. And I'm on the dev branch. Okay, cool. So I can safely commit this without worrying. I'm gonna do this one by one here. Added a build. Okay. And then added a base manifest. And then to see first build with classes included. Okay, and I'll push it up to dev. Okay, sweet. Oh, except the module version was 1.0. I like to do 0.01. Oh, I did. Okay, sweet. At least until I get it documented and feel like I can do a 0.1 release or something. Oh, and that stupid thing, psgit. Okay. Okay, so the last thing that I should have time for today is to actually implement that class into the convert to IRM. Oh, and get URL data is still in here, and it doesn't need to be. Since we have it as a class now. Okay, well, let's get the class implemented here into convert to IRM, and that's probably going to call it a day for me after we do that. So let's let's get that rolling. Okay, so we don't need the out string. We don't need headers. We don't need variables. We got that regex Stefan that you updated here. Well, you know what? I'm making this really too complicated. All I need to do is say return, sorry. Let's see, curl command new curl string or hold on a second. So that will return the curl command object specifically. Okay, I'm overthinking this a little too much, I feel like. So here's what I'm thinking. Maybe I should have a separate, or I'm actually going to undo those changes. Maybe I should have a separate parse curl command. Commandlet. Is parse an acceptable verb though? I don't think so. It is not. So I'm thinking we should have two commandlets here. One's the convert to, and the other one's going to be the parse or convert. No. Improve assert backup block checkpoint clear. I think it'd be a good verb to describe the action of taking a that curl command and converting it to that class, which parses it. I like that word parse in this specific instance. See, yeah, maybe invoke curl command parsing. Join log measure merge mount move. Everything IRM class. You could set a method invoke to call it directly. The constructor return as a string or a script log. So I was actually thinking about in the curl. Oh. Okay. No, you took that a little step further than what I was about to say. So I was actually thinking in that curl. Oh, okay. So, okay. So, let me tell you what I think you're thinking, and you can tell me if I'm right or not. Ideally, also hosts a parse curl command, which would call the curl command. Yes, yeah. So essentially, complementary classes, one for a curl command and one for the invoke rest method. Yeah, a lot of lag. That by complementary, the curl command would be able to call the other one to convert itself. Well, maybe not call the other one, but yes, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Now, if you ever want to make your module really complicated but very useful, Stefan is your man to talk to. I think that's good. But one thing that it makes me think of is I'm talking a little out of my my wheelhouse here, but I think the PS script analyzer has some classes for doing commandlets or for parsing like commandlets and parameters. Would that be useful to reuse? I don't know if anyone watching is more familiar with that script analyzer module than I am. And I say that because otherwise we end up doing something like this for parsing the invoke rest method, which, I mean, it's doable, as you can see. It's a lot of regular expressions. So it's the whole like class versus function and making them complementary to each other. But that's So if I'm still thinking in here, if we did that, this would be convert to IRM, and then we'd have an equivalent IRM class with a, well, no worries. No, I didn't mean, when I said it was complicated, I didn't mean unnecessarily complicated. I mean, I meant that it made it more useful, but also more complicated. And not that complicated was intended to be negative in that instance. But yeah, no, I like where you're going with that, and I think that is a great idea. But you're right. That's one thing I have learned is you get it working in the current version and then worry about refactoring it. So that still circles me back around to imagine just a class with one constructor, which would set the parameter. But yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna have to sit down. I'll sit down and write up. I'd like your input because you've actually done some bigger modules, than I have. But yeah, let me get this working here, because what I just had another thought. Is instead of here we go. We'll say get curl. We'll call it get curl command. I just thought that would be a brilliant idea to call it. Let's see, and we're gonna say param is a string, and this was really literally going to return curl command new curl string, like that. This is my entire get curl command commandlet, and then for the convert to, it's my build. Convert to IRM, we can switch this over to be, instead of curl string, actually we could actually put this in the top of get curl command as well. So convert to IRM, what we could do is say, so here's where that curl command writing a class comes in handy, because you can specify what exactly type of object you want. So curl string. And I think if you still pass a straight string, it attempts to do a construct with, we'll find out. So we'll call it curl string and simply return curl string dot I don't think it has to IRM. And then everything, whoops. And then literally everything can be deleted out of there, I think. We'll find out. Okay, so now we should, do I still have curl string in my, I do. So if we do convert to IRM, curl string, that's not very accurate. Curl command. All right, convert to IRM. We can say curl, dash. Did I not? I don't think I re-imported that. Nope, I did not. Okay, convert to IRM. Okay, if I could type today, this would be going a little better. So curl command now, curl string. Oh, that works, even with just a straight string. All right. That's awesome. Now, here, I'll even do a 0.3 here. Sweet. So that is the brilliance of classes. And actually, I think this should have actually, the docs should have, oh, it didn't actually work. Okay. Get curl command, get URL data. I'm going to switch this one over to string URL is valid. I'm switching this get URL data over to using the class. So I'm just going to say URL new URL, and then that's going to return the class. And so now if we do a get URL data and have a URL, it's going to return nice. And that's brilliant. Okay, sweet. So we can now build it and do some testing really quick. Invoke build, whoop, task module build. And we should, nope, did not. What? We didn't get any docs. Did I not? I thought my build actually had module build. I did do doc build. Yeah, doc build. Public files equals public. Private files. There shouldn't be any private files. Nope. If not, test path, module path. For each file, public files, private files, get content full names out. Wait, I'm reading module build, doc build, new external path. Module path slash. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta actually generate. I've actually got to generate the markdown files. So it's got to say new external. And I forget how to do file based on markdown supported by Platypus. Let's see, new external help, out path encoding, force, applicable tag, max width, very long. You can ship this with modules, right? Help using, okay. Sorry, it's been a while since I used, oh, it must be new external help. Creates an external help file based on markdown. Nice, okay. All right, was that I was just looking at? Yeah, it was. New markdown help. Creates a help in markdown format. Okay, sweet. That's what I wanted. Output folder. Okay. New markdown help. Oh, not about help. Command. Can I pass it a module? That would be nice. Yes, it does take a module. Okay, encoding, module. Oh, I gotta import the module. New markdown help module Curl2PS session force metadata output folder /docs. Sweet. Okay, and I wanted to create this markdown help so I could get this converts. Oh, it did actually grab. That should have nothing in it. Get your all data. Okay, sweet. Because I like keeping. Wait, did they get the notes in there as well? Notes. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I did. I like keeping the help separate from the commandlets themselves. That's from the Platypus module. It's so what it does is so you can see my docs folder. It has markdown files and probably a little lag, so you might have already seen them. For each command, so here for convert to IRM, and actually grab what you already put in there. And so you can fill this out, and then in your build, if you do new external help, let me show you. Now that we actually have some Invoke build, task module build, crap. Name value. Okay, well, when this works, it will actually create in your build, it'll add an external help file in the XML format, which is really handy. Node model. Wow, I have no idea what this is talking about here. Maybe I got the doc path wrong. That might be really simple. Doc path tscript/docs. Nope, got that right. And doc build output path module path /n-us, which is their module path is build path /module name. Yeah, crap. Argument markdown 23.104. I wonder if see get URL data, if there's something in here that I didn't like. No, line 23 looks fine. Name value, expected heading. Oh, I wonder if it, okay, this might just be a markdown related problem here. URL data. Did that show up again? I haven't had to troubleshoot this before, so this is brand new. Let's see. Exception calling node model to mammal model with one argument. Expect heading. Oh, okay. I think that's what was going on. No. I was just working on some help files. Let me look at one that was actually generated from nothing. The examples, example 1. Okay. I'm gonna try switching this around because I wonder if it just doesn't like. Because something in there is, oh, okay, so I just didn't like it. Okay, so now we've got this XML file. So this is what it creates so that when you, let's see, remove module, Curl2PS, import module, and I'm gonna re-import that with the help. And so now if we go help get URL data, we actually have that help without it being right there on the commandlet. And then you can track changes to the docs separately, which is what I like. And you can write it in Markdown. I mean, not that this format here is conducive to Markdown, but it's in my opinion easier to track changes to it, and I don't have to write XML to do it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and actually push this. Classes don't have anything in private. And let's see what all the changes were. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna push the docs really quick. initial doc commit. Oh, and I'm also going to remove the docs from these commandlets since they're now tracked separately. And anything that was in here was copied into those markdown files. Or at least it should have been. Okay. Let's see, implemented. So we implemented the classes and separated the docs on convert to IRM and get URL data. Nice. And last but not least, we should do one more invoke build with the new commandlets that don't have the help in them. And because we don't want any. Nice. Okay. Yep. Now this. Oh, that doesn't have the classes in it. My build doesn't include classes apparently. Okay, source, public files, private files, and class files equals get child item. Okay, let's get these class files added in here so the build actually has them in there. For each file, public files plus private files plus class files. There we go. And functions dev support is just public files. Nice. Okay. So with I might have glossed over this, but with the modules here in my Curl2PS folder, if that external help is in the XML file, so in this case n-us, it still returns the help. Let me show you. Let me make sure I have. So I'm importing the latest version, and here let me show you the latest version. The latest version you see doesn't have any help in it. Doesn't have the classes yet either because I'm adding that back. But if I do an import module on that, let's see, /build/curl2ps, and if I do a get help on get URL data, this does return that help that you put in there. And this synopsis is what's in this markdown file underneath synopsis. And if I look at examples, we've got the example that you put in there as well, Stefan. And that's those markdown files are added to that XML in the build. So in my build file, in my build script. Okay, sweet. Yeah, no problem. But yeah, in the build script, I just have to have. It doesn't have to be a separate step, but I have it as a separate step. New external help. And then it takes the path with all those markdown files, converts them to XML, and outputs them to where you want them. So in this case, I don't expect to write this module for people that don't speak English, but I saw someone else that actually specified specifically a regional name, and so yeah, if someone ever wants to translate this, then we'll have other languages as well. Okay, so let me get the classes in there. Let's see, invoke build, task module build. And if this works, nice, there they are. Okay, then we're done. As soon as I get, let's see, actually I'll also go ahead and commit all of these. Let's see, built with docs and classes now. Oh, okay, sweet. So I'm gonna go ahead and push that back up to GitHub as well. Since you're a minute behind any closing thoughts? Excuse me. I think I might do a PR right after this, or maybe this afternoon when I've got some time, and just push that right into the master branch. Oh, I need to add some tests. That's what I should be doing, is adding tests to make sure that it still works. In fact, you know what? Oh. Okay, for some reason it didn't like the tests in... Oh. There we go. I had to specify it specifically. When passed, correct curl command, it should return invoke rest method. Runtime, you cannot call method. Okay, well, the test needs some work. Yeah. Okay, that is going to be a project for another time. So, okay, sweet. Now this is a module. Woohoo! Next step. Okay, now that I have classes. Class utils? Or, yeah, PS class utils. Yes. Yeah, I'll do that. Oh, you know what? Here, really quick. I'm gonna do it really quick. I really should be going. I do have it. Do you have to give it a path? Okay. /source/ classes. Is that all I need to do? Will it grab? Oh, whoops. I might have screwed that up. Oh, no. So here's the output. I didn't give it an output path like I should have. Okay. Describe curl command constructors. Curl command constructors should not throw. Sweet methods, new. No, I'll have to dig some more into that. But yeah, definitely. That's a great point. So let's use classes. Just have some tests that way. Cool. Well, anyway, thanks everybody who tuned in and anybody watching on YouTube. This will be on YouTube. I'll hit the export button as soon as I hit end stream. So it'll probably be up there this afternoon. Well, okay, this afternoon my time. It is now 12:03 p.m. my time. It might be later than that for anybody else watching. Yeah, have a great weekend. Otherwise, I'm going to go get some lunch and then get back to work. Not that this isn't work, but this is more fun than most of the work that I do. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Oh, I will catch that verbose. That's a good point. That's a good suggestion. Yeah, because I like I said, I've used it once before and it didn't work like I expected. So it's cool seeing it actually work here. Anyway, have a good one, Stefan, and the two other people that are watching. Appreciate it, by the way.